guys, what's going on? Frank Rich here from Rebuild Recovery, and in today's video I want to talk to you about a daily practice or habit or ritual that you can implement into your days in order to help speed up your porn reboot. So if you're watching this video, chances are you are familiar with what a reboot is, but let me explain it to you guys that are new and maybe stumbled across this video and aren't too sure of what an actual porn reboot is. A porn reboot is just a terminology. It's a word that we use here in the porn recovery space. Basically, it's resetting your brain back to its default or factory settings. Here's what I mean is when you're consuming a large amount of pornography, you have to realize the damaging effects that's occurring inside of your brain. We all have this mechanism in our brain, and we have this neurotransmitter known as dopamine. Dopamine is the reward center. It's the pleasure center. It's a way for your body to tell, it's a way for your brain to tell your body of, hey, what I'm doing, I actually enjoy. It's pleasurable. And what happens when you're consuming large amounts of, call it online pornography, magazines, or just on your smartphone, or even just a social media addiction, is you're constantly firing this dopamine neurotransmitter. I mean, think about it. It's your reward center. How many things are designed in this world for us to truly get pleasure out of? Well, one of them is sex, real intimacy with a woman. You know that feeling when you're truly connected with the soul and spirit of another human being? Just that feeling of euphoria, that feeling of ecstasy, almost like this blissful type of feeling. That's your dopamine. That's your body's reward pleasure center saying, hey, so-and-so, hey Frank, hey John, hey Mark, hey Steve, this activity, this sexual intimacy with another human being, this is what you are designed for. The opposite effect is when you're spending hours every single night or hours every single week browsing your favorite porn sites, browsing your favorite videos or whatever it is for you. You have to realize, with every new stimulus comes that new release of dopamine, comes that new sense of feel-good. Over time, what ends up happening is you create these neural pathways in your brain that's artificial stimulation. Guys, if you're at this point, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, like, man, when I see a video or I see one of my favorite porn stars or I see one of my favorite actresses, that instant feeling of blood rushing through your body, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And perhaps you're at the point where when you're trying to get intimate with your partner, your wife, another human being, you've lost that connection. You've literally rewired your brain to think that its pleasure center, that its rewards should come from the artificial stimulation. So a reboot is the process of going through and resetting your brain through factory settings. One of the most important parts to a successful reboot is completely staying away from any type of artificial stimulation. So you got to go an extended period of time. You know, this is not a week, 2 weeks, a month. You know, we're talking 90 days, 6 months, a year, 2 years for some guys over the course of their full reboot, depending upon the level of severity that their issues have gotten to. But what's one thing that you can do every single day to help speed up that process? And this is backed by scientific evidence, and it's also, from anecdotal experience with myself and my clients. I think one of the fastest ways for us to rewire those neural pathways, to reset that dopamine response, to reset that neurotransmitter inside of our brain, is a practice of daily gratitude. So what ends up happening when you show gratitude, you express gratitude on a daily basis, is that reward center, that pleasure center, that dopamine response. It fires in the same exact way that it does when you're getting that external stimulus. So think about it. Right now, you've programmed yourself to reward, to release dopamine when you see pornography, when you see women acting in a sexual way, whatever it is that's your thing. You've conditioned yourself to that is your dopamine response. That is your pleasure. When you're going through the process of a full reboot, and you can implement a daily practice of gratitude, a simple 2 to 5 minute exercise every single morning where you can look at the world around you, you can look at your life, and you could say, what are things that I'm grateful for? Because let's be honest right now, if you're struggling with sexually compulsive behaviors or you're suffering with pornography addiction, chances are there's not a whole lot of time spent in gratitude let's be honest, you're probably not spending a lot of your day being grateful for things. You're probably upset at yourself. You're probably dealing with guilt, shame, possibly depression, maybe be experiencing suicidal thoughts. I don't know. I haven't spoken directly with you, but I know where I got to, and I know where many of my clients are. Not only are you negatively feeding your brain, you're negatively triggering that dopamine response, but at the same time, you're not expressing pure gratitude for the world that you're getting to live in. So I think when you can initiate your reboot, when you can say, you know what, for this designated period of time, this long extended period of time, call it 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, I know I'm going to go without pornography, but when you can add into that, when you can actually start playing offense in your reboot. So many guys fail because they're relying solely on willpower. They're playing defense. And playing defense in your recovery is ultimately a recipe for failure, relapse, and defeat. You need to come into this in the offense. You need to come at this aggressive. What can I be doing daily, weekly, monthly to help not just speed up my process, but help rewire my brain, to help reset my pleasure centers, to help reboot my neurotransmitters? And I believe it's an act of gratitude. One thing I do is I have a journal that I keep here behind me. So this is mine. I literally, one of the first things I do as part of my morning routine is I come and I write the date, and it's 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I think people struggle with gratitude because they feel that it's got to be this grandiose thing. When you're getting started, be grateful that you woke up. Be grateful that you have time to express your gratitude. Be grateful that you're in a position to overcome your addictions. It can be the smallest things. But here's what's going to happen is you're going to start to wire your brain for its dopamine response to be things that you enjoy, that you are truly grateful. Over time, this is literally going to rewire the neural pathways inside of your brain. Now, the second thing that's going to come out of this is your brain has a mechanism inside of it. It's called the RAS, the Reticular Activating System. The best way for me to explain what this is there's so much going on with the world around us. I mean, think about literally like just within the room that you're watching this, just within the home that you're living in. How much activity, how much chaos is going on around you? Well, if your brain were to take all of that in, it would explode. So your brain has the reticular activating system. And what this does is this filters out everything that is unnecessary to you and filters in the things that are of most important to you. Let me use an example here that I'm sure all of us can relate to. Have you ever bought a new car? Have you ever purchased, let's call it a red Camaro? Red Camaro. Prior to going up to that, you didn't see that many red Camaros. Probably not the best example because there are a lot of red Camaros, but stick with me and I think you're going to get the point here. So you purchase this brand new shiny red Camaro, black rims, brand new tires. You think you're the only one, because like I said, you've been looking at cars for a few months now. You haven't seen any of these other ones that are exactly like yours. But the day after purchasing that brand new red Camaro, you're driving down the road, you're driving down all the same pathways that you're normally going, you're driving the exact same route to work. But here, today, you notice that there's red Camaros all over the place. You see what has happened is you've activated inside of your brain, your RAS, your reticular activating system. You've activated that red Camaros are important. Those red Camaros were always there before, but now, because you've activated it, because you're seeking it out, because your brain has been turned on to look for the things that are of most important to you, you're seeing shiny red Camaros. Now, how does this apply to your reboot, to your porn recovery? So here's what's occurring. Right now, you're consuming pornography, masturbation on a regular basis, daily, if not multiple times a day. So what are you telling your brain is of most important to you? Objectifying women, sex, lust, masturbation. So what are you going to find throughout your day? You're going to find yourself having women that are triggers, having situations that lead you to your ultimate destination, which you've already told yourself is porn and masturbation. So you got to stop that. But secondly, you can turn your RAS, you can turn your reticular activating system to work for you by spending some minutes every single morning expressing what's of gratitude to you. You're saying, hey, these are the things that are most important for my day, most important for my life today. Now, your RAS is going to get kicked on as you go throughout the day. You're going to begin to notice more of these things. more of the parts of your day, the parts of your life that bring you excitement, that bring you pleasure, that bring you joy, that are to be grateful for. What is that going to result in? That's going to result for the next day you to be even more grateful for even greater things. You see, it's this kind of cycling compound effect. So guys, if you're already started your reboot, first thing I want to do is I want to congratulate you and acknowledge you, because you're taking a step that many men never do, and you're committed to making change in your life. But secondly, if you're looking for some offense, if you're looking for some strategy, some tactics that can speed up your reboot process on a daily basis, start implementing a daily gratitude practice, and over time watch your life ultimately change and your habits and addictions to pornography and masturbation fizzle away. So that's it, guys. Frank Rich here with another valuable video for you to help speed up your reboot, help you overcome your addiction to pornography and masturbation. If you guys are looking for a free guide on this, I've written a book. It's called A 7-Step Guide to Living Life Without Porn. And I'm giving it away for free. It's an ebook. It's right there down below. Hit that first link in the description box and just enter your email address, and we'll send that ebook over to you guys right away. But that's it, guys. Like I said, congratulations if you've already started your reboot. If you're unsure of, rebooting is right for you, if you've thought about it and you're struggling with masturbation and these type of behaviors, a reboot will change your life. Take my word for that. So that's it, guys. Frank Rich from Rebuild Recovery. I'll see you guys soon.